Let me welcome us today to today's session on COG Connect. COG Connect is an opportunity where we get to look at entrepreneurs, CEOs that are doing well in their various industry. And today we have in the studio a big CEO. We've been looking after him to be able to get him. Here we are today. We have a CEO in the fashion industry talking about Mr. Adedoyin Balogun of the Badon Clothing. Yes, we want to welcome you to today's session on COG Connect. COG Connect is a forum where we connect with CEOs who are doing very well in the industry. And today we have a big CEO in the studio. We've been trying to get him across. He is in the fashion industry. He's done tremendously well for himself and for the industry. And there's a need for us to speak to him so that he can, mentor and talk to other young people who are coming up in the fashion industry. So I have the singular honor and privilege to introduce today the CEO, Mr. Adedoyin Balogun at Badon Clothing.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Adedoyin, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I mean,
it's good to be here.
We tried all along to get you across to the studio. Here you are today.
Yes, so finally.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Badon, how did it all start? Some people start with some other names, later they get to change. Yeah, from beginning that's all the Badon?
No, from beginning actually it has been Doen, D-O-E-N,
okay,
which was gotten from my first name,
okay,
Adedoyin.
Okay.
Later on I wanted something a bit different and catchy, hence Baldon, which is from my two names,
okay,
Balogun, that's Bal, and Doyin, okay, Don. So yeah, I flipped it around and that's how we got Baldon.
Wow.
I felt that it was also easy to pronounce, easy to remember for a lot of people, putting it out in the market, and people really took ownership of it. So that was how
So for you entrepreneur, a name is very important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you mention a name like Badon, it sticks, and that name brings a lot of expectations, which they have been able to meet up with. Yeah, a lot of people start business in different ways. I mean, how was the journey for you? How did it all start?
First and foremost, I would say I started about 25 years ago while in school.
Wow, 25 years?
Yes.
Wow.
So while as an undergraduate, it was one of these endless academic strikes, ASU strikes.
Okay.
And like I jokingly tell people, I said, in Nigeria, you only know the beginning. You don't know when it will end. and that's when I thought to myself, okay, what can I do? I needed something to also keep me engaged. I'd always been a creative. That much I had known from childhood. And hence, I started by selling t-shirts. What happened was that a friend's mom brought in t-shirts. I sold all the t-shirts. I wanted more, and she said there was no more.
Yeah.
And there was a demand.
So people talk about entrepreneurs. Are they born or are they made?
So they'll tell you that the jury is still out on that one. No, there's no conclusive. Some are born and some are made.
Okay, so for you?
For me, I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a bit of both also. And I'll tell you why. Because I never thought I was a salesperson or somebody that could, but at the point at which I finished selling off those t-shirts,
okay,
what kicked the entrepreneurial drive in me was the fact that the t-shirts were finished, there was a demand, and I said, hold on, we can make this thing happen.
Wow.
Hence, we started looking inwards.
Okay,
could we get the fabric? We could get fabric. Could we get good craftsman? We'll get good craftsman. Could I merge the factors of labor together?
Okay.
And voila, we hit the market.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure he's talking to quite a number of you. I mean, you have that drive, you have that salesman capacity. So all you need to do now is to stop procrastinating and hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you talked about 3 machines, straight sewing machines.
Yes.
Now they have metamorphosed into an industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now we have well over 100 machines.
Wow, wow.
Both and they're all industrial, specialized machines, straight sewing. You know, but I always tell younger people that it didn't start in a day. So don't beat yourself. And there's a place to grow organically. Okay. There's a place to scale up. Okay. You know, you need to get your numbers, understand your numbers, understand the industry. You know, so as you grow, it is sure-footed. You know, you're not just aspiring to be like that successful brand in quotes without understanding the rudiments.
Okay, so we're talking about the fact that you need to use the staircase to go up.
Absolutely.
If you jump up, you're going to come down.
Absolutely.
So in the last 25 years, you've been climbing the staircase.
Yes.
So tell us now about your line of products.
So basically, we tailors, outfitters for men.
Okay.
You know, we deal with the men for made to measure. And in the course of, I think, so 2019, 2020, we set up another small subsidiary to deal with industrial uniforms. Okay. So when we have uniforms for schools, we see that because we have the capacity.
Okay.
You know, so it's all about capacity, and you keep on building.
Yeah.
You know, you build even when you don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I'm a friend of the industry,
right?
And one of the concepts that readily comes to my mind is what I regard to as 48 or even a 24-hour service.
Yes.
So, I mean, speak to that as like I come today and I want to get a suit for a wedding, and I'm able to make that payment and 48 hours is delivered. Yes. And that is where a lot of tailors have issues. So are you a tailor or a fashion designer?
So I am.
And what does it mean?
Okay. So I am more of a fashion designer, but I would like to call myself a fashionpreneur.
Okay, beautiful.
And they're different. Who is a tailor? Okay. A tailor is the artisan, right, that does the skilled work.
Okay.
For a lot of the tailors, they do not have the managerial or entrepreneurial capacity.
Okay.
You need to still direct them. You still need to micromanage them.
Okay. So we're talking about tailors today.
Yes.
We're talking about fashion designers.
Yes.
I was saying that, look, that's managerial capacity where you are able to, have a succession plan. You're able to put people in place, have strategic plans.
There's a whole lot, because what you are talking about getting your things out in 48 hours speaks to division of labor. Okay. It speaks to workflow process. Okay. So that no one person does the entire thing. Yeah. You have to have a chain in such a way that if one person is building the collar, another person is building the sleeve, another person is cutting, another person is doing the button, another person is doing the ironing and packing. Okay. So it's like a workflow. It's just if you go to an industrial like a bottling company. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's clockwork. Okay. You understand? So that needs to be done. Okay. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it happening now? Under certain conditions. So typically, someone else says, for me to make this happen, I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg. Okay. All right. But in contrast to Asia, when you get to the Asian countries,
I know that you go to Turkey a lot.
Yes.
You go to China.
Yeah, it's commonplace. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Because one, they have the frequency of traffic.
Okay. So traffic is
the traffic is very important. Okay. 2, they have the technology.
Okay.
3, they're not just the artisans, but the artisans having the right mindset.
Okay.
Because you see,
so it's a big deal.
It's a big
just like you're running a bank.
Absolutely.
With all processes in place, so you can run a fashion house with all the whole processes in place.
It's a lot of work, but it's very, very doable.
Okay.
Very, very doable.
So we're thinking about 48 hours service. I mean, like that will bring you another set of customers.
Yes.
Those who customers like me who like to wait till the last minute.
Yes.
And you charge the right price.
Yes.
And you have that service delivered, because the artisans tailors that you mentioned, that's the greatest undoing, because they say that tailors disappoint a lot.
So it's not just even the tailors. Anybody in the craft of artisan industry.
Okay.
I mean, be it mechanic, be it a welder, be it a carpenter, be it a tailor.
Okay.
And why? So over a period of time in my sojourn in this industry, I've understood a couple of things. One, is even the tailors themselves. What's the kind of mindset do they have? What kind of training do they have? They were trained, a lot of them are tailors not out of passion, but out of poverty.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
So, yes.
Not out of
passion,
out
of poverty. So, you can't go to a higher institution because there's no money. So, would you go join the guy down the road and just learn the craft from him?
Yeah.
Now, what it means is that as you are learning all his shenanigans, his idiosyncrasies,
garbage
in, garbage out, and that is transferred.
Okay.
In fact, I tell you something, and I stand to be corrected. When they are doing their freedom, that's when you learn and they're doing that.
Yeah.
One of the prayers they pray is that may you disappoint your customers.
My God.
Yes. And it is believed that if you don't disappoint, that means you don't have work.
Wow.
But when you disappoint, it means that you can't meet up.
Okay.
And these are the things that they're grappling with. That's one. Two, they believe they can do everything on their own.
Yeah.
So they don't understand division of labor.
Okay.
Why should I give this
Why,
person?
I
can do it.
I know about the tailor. He stopped growth because at the point in time he refused to bring in other people
exactly.
saying that they are going to learn what he has learned and run away.
So you have all that.
Okay.
You have all that. Presently, we manage we have about 75 tailors.
Wow.
75. Yes, that we. So what we've done is over a period of time we've grouped them where your strength is. We employ and retain you based on your strength. So you have people that do only trousers.
Okay.
And even among the trousers, there are people that do the band, there are people that do the cutting, people that do the finishing.
Beautiful.
Same thing with the shirts, same thing with jackets, same thing with the kaftans.
Yeah.
There are people that do only finishing, only buttonholes, there are people that do only
So
iron.
you have actually put the process in place.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not as optimum as the Asian, but it works for
you.
Yes, and it works better than the average tailoring outfit.
So you also talk about separating the showroom from the workshop.
Yes.
Okay, because
So typically when you go, I've been privileged to travel quite a bit.
Okay.
And you don't see the back end of most businesses.
Okay.
You don't see it.
So Artisan Tailor, you're hearing this now.
You don't see the back end.
There's a need for you to separate the front end from the back
yes.
end. Okay.
Because you see, your front end is where you put your best foot forward. Put your image. You see, when we talked about tailors, what comes into the mind of most people is that guy wearing the singlet. And on this machine.
Yeah, I remember.
That's it. And he has a stack full of clothes, and some are hanging, and some are dusty, and some are cut.
And three customers can come
in and start shouting, and he's trying to pacify them. That is what the people have in their mind. So you also, coming into the industry, I knew that there were perceptions we needed to deal with. We needed to change.
Yeah.
That look, this is just the way you have the banking and finance industry. This is also an industry. You understand? So we have a front office people. We have it.
I've been there. Beautiful place too.
So
it looks like a banking reception.
It's because it's your business. It's and I take it passionately that look, this industry has the capacity. When government is talking about diversification, they
talk about the oil and gas
and zero oil
about the fashion.
The truth of the matter is, India, Vietnam, Bangladesh, China, some of the biggest money spinners is the garment industry.
Wow, we're talking to Mr. Adedoyin Balogun today. Is CEO at Badon Clothing. Is dishing out those things that governments and individuals need to put in place for the fashion industry to actually come up. Okay? The fashion industry is huge. We're not even talking about the fabrics.
The fashion industry, the garment industry is bigger than people even understand. Because if you go to Maslow's hierarchy,
I was just going to go.
You have food, you have shelter, and you have clothing. Nobody.
There is no way you will dress naked.
As tough as the economy is, nobody has gone naked. So it means that there is a baseline necessity for survival.
Wow.
So when we understand that, but you see, unfortunately, a lot of that market is going to Asia.
Wow.
We've not seemingly understood the inherent capacity
that is
available. Yes, and it's a. So I, as a fashion entrepreneur, I'm at the tail end of the value chain.
Okay.
Why? Because we get the fabrics and turn it into the finished product. But what about if we could extend that value chain from the cotton grower?
From the
cotton grower.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You know, to the ginneries, to the mills, to markets. It's huge.
So, government, let's look at the fashion industry today. I mean, Badon alone, as of today, has about 75 people in their employment.
With about 100.
About 100.
Because we add managerial staffs and all that. Like so it's about 100. But the tailors, the artisans themselves.
So just imagine that you replicate about 1,000 of Badon.
Absolutely.
I mean, for people to do what they like, one of the things we notice that a lot of people actually want to come into the fashion, but because of the capital setup, they are afraid. How do you encourage them to start? So
the first machine the first industrial machine I bought it 22,000 naira, and I paid in 2 installments.
Wow! So
and I say this because it's about starting. You can have all those grand ideas. If you don't start, if you don't put rubber to road, you're not going to get anywhere. You know, and not going to get easier, right? So take the first step. So you have a flair for this thing. Which part of first and foremost, what part of the industry would you like to play? Is it male? Is it female? Is it both? Is it corporate? Is it traditional?
Children?
Is it children? You know, so I mean, it's why you need to even understand what part you want to play, understand what part you have the capacity to play. Then, okay, what are the machines, the equipment you need? What is the advanced countries? What are they doing now? Where are they? Okay, well, who are your existing competitors or would-be competitors in the industry? What have they done? What are they doing? You know, what can you do better than them? These are the things that you need to outline.
Yeah, there are quite a number of things to talk about in the industry. You have mentioned competition. What about association?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it's not very strong in this part of the world, whereby everybody's a loner, is a lone ranger. Wow. You know, and that's just the reality. There are associations that have been formed solely for the aim of more of trying to negotiate with government for better, but they've really not had impact in my own observation. Yes, it hasn't had desired impact, because like I said, if only we understood the amount of people you can take out of the unemployment market, the amount of foreign we're looking for dollars now as a country. The amount of forex you can earn us.
Save.
You know, it can save us. It can earn us. You know. So Bangladesh, like I said before, for instance, their oil is their garment industry.
Wow.
Because they're landlocked. That's all they have. You know. And they have a small landmass. But I mean, my research showed me that a small factory in Bangladesh, small cottage industry, is about 1,000 to 2,000 people. Wow. Medium's about 5,000.
So you are still even scratching with hundreds.
Yeah, 10 and you have large ones with about 10,000, and they run shifts. They can do 3 shifts. So you are talking about a factory having 30,000 workers.
Beautiful. So today I want to be like Badon. How do you bring me?
First and foremost,
can I come and learn? You know, like do you have that concept?
So it's something we are working on, because we've been receiving quite a lot of requests. But I like doing my things well. So I want to not just train, but I want to train well and train properly, and infuse a lot of other things that people might not get in a regular training institute. You know, so, and all this will take time and resources. So we're not there yet, but it's something that's in the near future.
I think looking at the industry, the training aspect is also a money spinner. Because again, you talked about the artisan tailor, you know, and they say they pray that you disappoint your customer.
Yes.
And that's the point. So we're looking at people who don't want to go through that route.
Yes.
They want to go through the regular route of doing what Badon is, to be able to replicate. Because people talk about the fact that the sky is wide enough for two birds to fly
Absolutely.
without colliding. And we also believe that if you have more of pardon,
Yes.
it will stimulate the industry to inward, to be able to look inward and to be able to better at the end of the day. So I think it's something that we think you should look into, and government should come into partnership with you to say, look, let us set up a 10,000 training capacity for fashion to be able to churn out those people, send them across the world, so that at the end of the day they will be able to say, so what are those your unique selling?
Just before we go to the union segment, you've just hit on the things I'm passionate about.
Okay.
Because you see, when we talk about training doesn't come cheap. The truth of the matter is, the people that want to train are people that can't afford it. So who subsidizes for the training?
So that's where the government comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And which is where
and again, personal determination.
Yes.
Because again, I'm a consultant today. I remember when I left the regular paying job, I took everything I had to go and train myself. And it paid off at the end of the day. So the fact that you're an artisan, you are the big man at the other end, you can pay that money for that artisan to learn the right thing. It will be better for you at the end of the day. So that's the way we want to look at it. So let's go to your unique
selling point.
I love entrepreneurs don't want to talk about their secrets.
No. So for
But
me,
we believe that the world is
no, for me, the unique selling points, you see, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, really and truly. For us as a business, what are the unique selling points? One, we try to pride ourselves at being customer centric. That's very, very important. In this part of the world, customer service is not exactly our greatest strength. So that for me is very important. You know, from the time you walk into my environment, you should feel that warmth. You should feel that engaging atmosphere, not hostile. You know, that's very, very important. So that's one.
And be able to get feedback. And
Exactly.
work on them,
Yes.
Yes.
That's one. Two, turnaround time. If we've agreed on 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we try. I'm not going to tell you we're 100%, but I dare say that we're about 95.
Beautiful.
You know, so we try to ensure that we keep to our word, because that's how we get return customers. And of course, it's cheaper to keep a return customer than making a new one. You know, so that for us is one of the things we do. And thirdly, which is most importantly, we keep on reinventing ourselves, our systems, our processes, and acquiring machines. So out there, I mean, in Europe, in Asia, they are not stopping. They are creating machines for the hardest of tasks. Okay. They're trying to eliminate every day. They're trying to remove human factor. You know, more and more and more
talking
and
about
more.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, more and more.
Fashion industry.
You understand? So the truth of the matter is, I was still talking to my tailors, you know, I said, look, if you're not careful, you know, there'll be clones of human beings that will do the entire process. So don't take yourself more than you are.
Yeah.
You know, because they look at the problem and say, okay, how can we solve this problem? What can we create to solve this problem, which can now create a faster turnaround time, you know, without any tantrum,
and eliminate you.
Without any tantrum, without any shenanigans being displayed, and that's just the reality. You know, so
technology will obviously take a lot of people out. I was listening to a radio station, and the guy mentioned that, look, the work of DJ will soon be taking over. The work of presentation will soon be taken over. So I would not be surprised if you guys in the industry decide to take or reduce the human elements with a view of attaining efficiency and be able to be productive at the end of the day. Yeah. So is there fashion? Can fashion happen without fashion shows?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So what are fashion shows? They create awareness. Really, actually, you don't really make money from fashion shows.
Okay, but they are to sell.
But they're just to show your creativity.
Okay.
You know, in Europe, I was at Milan Fashion Week last year, and what it just does is, one, it keeps that designer fresh in the minds of the consumers.
Okay.
Two, it launches. They launch their next phase in terms of their
line of
for this particular period.
Okay.
You know, but it's a lot of money. I'm saying this for the upcoming entrepreneur, fashion entrepreneur, or designer or tailor. You know that you need to ensure that you have what it takes, because you might not be able to sell. Most likely, you're not going to sell all the clothes you put on the catwalk.
Okay.
Right. So it's important that you have that back of your mind so you know what you're going in for. But it's fantastic if you can. I've been privileged to do fashion shows in Geneva and in Abuja here also, So it's nice, a lot of work. It's quite draining.
Why I think that is important, you hear about Senegalese fashion. Okay, when Goodluck Jonathan was the president, you hear about the Niger Delta. So I want to get to the point where, when I wear a native, they say that's Badon.
Yes. So that's not just about the fashion show. It's also about the spread.
Okay.
For us to get to that point, I had a discussion with somebody this morning.
Okay.
We aren't talking about mass garments. You're talking about when you're able to scale up and be like a Zara and an M&S, or have those stores that can offtake from you, whereby you can walk in. So it's not just about one-on-one.
Okay.
It's about you can pick standardized sizes off the rack. And
the last time I visited you to do a jacket for myself, I started talking to you about mass production.
Yes.
So the offlow garment line.
Yes.
Mass production.
Mass production. Yes. Yeah. So it's something we're looking at, but it's also tricky, especially in this part of the world.
Okay.
Because the average Nigerian is very, very stylish. Now, the implication of that is that I want to wear something different from what Mr. Godfrey is wearing. No, don't give me Anko.
Okay.
But when I go to UK, and that's UK, I can buy, even though that's just one out of the 1,000 that share that they've made, and the same color.
Okay.
So it's a tricky balance.
Okay.
That we are still looking at how to. Of course, you're also looking at the sunken cost of that, getting outlets and all that. But ultimately, it is where the fashion industry will tend to. And because
going forward,
because it's easier to standardize on a scale of mass than having to cut fresh patterns for every working customer.
Okay. So I think it's a way to think. The reason being that maybe you get to a point where the working customers and your regular customers are no longer patronizing, which I'm sure we'll get to. So for you to now be able to have a line that you can deploy to the market, it keeps your tailor busy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Some people say that your secret is in the education that you had. I know at a point in time you went to Lagos Business School. Yeah. You've traveled far and wide, trying to understudy. Yes. So tell us about your education.
Okay, so I'm a graduate of pure and applied chemistry from the University of Jos.
Okay.
And from there, I followed my heart, which is fashion.
Okay.
But at a point, I just plateaued, and I needed more.
Okay.
Hence, I went to EDC. That is like a
Enterprise Development Center.
Yes, and that's where my entrepreneurial skills and mindset were honed on what I needed to do. Okay. Ever since, I've gone back for like 2 other courses.
Okay.
You must understand that you are your greatest resource, and it's important and it's imperative that you keep on training and retraining yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. John Maxwell says, because the law of the lead, no organization can rise beyond the leader, right? So it's as you yourself develop and raise yourself, so you can also pull the people along with you. So education is very, very important. Education is one aspect. Exposure is another aspect. As much as you have resources, go out there and see what other people are doing. Let's not just be content being a one-eyed man who is a king in the land of the blind. It will shock you the kind of technologies and machines that are being deployed in other countries in this same industry. How they're getting out things faster with less people. Also compare notes with your contemporaries. For the little you can, the little that they were through. Because it will shock you that some of the things that you're going through is not peculiar to you.
So that's where the networking is
it's not peculiar.
And that's one of the reasons we created the CU at G Connect, so as to bring in entrepreneurs. And one of the partnerships I would like us to look at is the business school for fashion.
Right.
You've gathered that experience across the world. The guys that are top leader. And for an institution like us, I think if we come together to say, look, on a quarterly basis or on a biannual basis, we can, actually bring in boarding tailors together to actually school them on the art of entrepreneurship. Because the art of entrepreneurship is a different ballgame.
Absolutely.
You can be talented, okay, but if you don't have that business acumen, if you don't have that business drive, you may end up not going far. And I believe that with what you know and what you have learned, that is what is driving you today. So you can reach out to us on our social media handle in case you want to have that form of education, a bit of business plus the talent that you're having. Then we can have something going at the end of the day. So as we are beginning to round up, we've been exciting discussion with you. We're going to be talking about sustainability. Okay, today, Herbert Igwe passed on suddenly, and by the third day, a CEO was appointed. Okay, so I mean, how do we ensure continuity? As like today, we're looking for enterprises in Africa that are 100 years old. They are very, very few enough.
Absolutely.
Okay, so speak to that and
Okay,
concerning your plans.
so I would also say that two things that and I will not tell you that we are there yet, but it's something we're working on. One is structure. There must be structure in the organization, no matter how small it is. Have an organogram, so that you actually have some form of direction and there's some form of hierarchy, so that everybody knows who's on which level, who's higher, who's lower. That helps put some form of direction into the organization. So structure is very, very important. Secondly is corporate governance. So even if you can't set up a board, you can have an advisory board.
Yeah, very
people
important.
that you can look up to, people that can give you a bit of their time to mentor you, to advise you, so that these are the things that big companies have, that sets them apart. The African mentality is that I want to do it all. I want to call the shots. I don't want to be accountable. So it's very, very important that if we want to be there for the long haul, and when I mean long haul, it's not about you being there, it's about your brand legacy, outliving you. These are the things that must be in place, having good corporate governance. We have a board chairman, we have a board.
Okay.
Excuse me, we have a board. We have a board chairman, and every quarter we try to meet, we try to review the numbers, what's going on, happening, and I'm accountable to him.
Okay.
All right, we have the accountant, we have an HR personnel that oversees the staffs, and so it's every business is an organization.
So if you don't come to office in 1 week, no wahala.
So
Okay.
I mean, this year I've been out for almost 4 weeks. Yes, from this year, because a greater part of January and part of February I wasn't in the country. But all customers were coming, they were placing their orders and they were getting their orders.
Okay.
So which is
the most
the
important
most thing.
Yeah. So we're advising today, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, try to build structures around your business so that tomorrow, if you're not there, that business will be able to continue at the end of the day. Most importantly, Mr. Adedoyin has mentioned that, look, you need to have a board in place. You may not be able to pay those boards right now, but what about a situation where, every time they come, you entertain them? They will give you all those beautiful ideas that you are looking at. As the business is growing, put them on a sitting allowance. And before you know, they are your advocates. They are the one advising you. They are the one telling you what the industry is talking about. Okay, so succession planning is very important, and we're lucky today that Mr. Adedoyin has been able to put that in place. So, as a way of rounding up, yes, your future outlook.
Future outlook.
What are you looking at?
So of course, I've alluded to that in the sense that looking at mass garments, so that where you can pick, off the rack, it doesn't have to be made to measure, Then of course, training. There's a depth of skilled tailors, artisans who have the right character, and there's a lot of demand, for such. So what's happening now is that within the industry, different people are just poaching from different people. You understand? It's not sustainable.
Okay.
We need to be able to have a pool, exactly, just like the football team.
Yeah.
You understand? That for me is my that for me is my vision. That okay, can we create a platform whereby people can be trained? Not just when you're graduating in university, to say he has been found worthy in learning and character. So not just in learning the skill, but also in character. That's a major deficiency of most of our artisans, that character aspect. So we hope to do that in the nearest future.
Wow, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Adedoyin Balogun, the CEO at Badon Clothing. I mean, it took us time to get you, but again, haven't listened to us. I'm sure you see that it's worth it. So what we do at COG Connect is to connect with CEOs who are doing very well, and who are budding, and who are trying to explode. And we have found out today in Mr. Adedoyin. So thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much for having me.
We wish you greater heights as you move on your enterprise.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you.
So thank you and have a blessed day.